Here we go.
Oh, hey, we are.
I love this.
Not even paying attention
I
at all.
love it when we're just super distracted.
This is good.
Hey, we're 30 minutes early though, guys, so I think we're allowed a little slack with this a week.
Is that how that works?
I think so.
Okay.
Is that how the real world works?
There's football on. So if I'm late to work, I'm allowed to do a bad job?
Yes.
For some reason, I feel like that's not true.
Yeah.
However,
you're gonna get away with that.
You can break personal conduct policies and still complain about not getting your money. Just a thought.
Tyler's got football on the mind.
Yeah, I'm watching football right now.
His boys are playing.
Gotta
So.
represent too.
Yep. Representing the player who's probably not going to get to play ever again.
So
That's
sad
okay,
day.
though. Yeah.
Anyway, what's up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another live episode of What the Fanboy. Yes, we are early, so I don't even know if anybody's in our chat yet, because I don't know if we really advertised that, but...
I put out one tweet.
At 7:20.
Hey,
it was like 7:05.
We got it out there.
We did.
So nobody can complain.
There's no excuses, is what I gather.
Yeah. We warned everybody. You okay over there?
I'm fine. There's a big leg here, and I knocked my knee against it.
Was it your other leg?
Was it worth it?
It's both legs.
Oh.
At the same time,
Oh.
I broke them both.
Mm.
Show must go on.
Yep.
I'm Luke. This is Mr. Tyler.
Hey,
To
and
make this intro even...
this is the
worse than
beautiful
others.
Brett Eitzen in his sweet podcast shirt.
Ooh, I like that shirt.
Get you one of them.
Is there a place one of us could get one of those shirts?
Luke, it's funny that you mentioned that because there is.
No way.
Yeah, we have an online store.
What?
Teespring.com.
Nice.
/stores / what the fanboy. All sorts of merch there. And remember, those t-shirts, especially when you get up in the like XL to 3 or 4XL, they run a little small. So I think they're all 100% cotton anyways. So you can
Buy a size
get
up.
a size larger, shrink it down.
Good to know.
I bought normal size. They're super soft though too, which is super awesome.
They are.
But I don't know if they're different, but the one with our ratings on it,
Mm-hmm.
I put that one on. I'm just like, ooh,
Do you sleep in it?
no.
So I think it's depending on what colors you get, they have different like material options. So like I know the podcast shirt is 100% cotton. I don't think that the ratings or the red What the Fanboy shirt are 100% cotton. I think they're like
Gotcha.
a blend.
Polyester cotton blend.
Yeah. But yeah, very comfortable. Highly recommend.
It is sleepable in. I don't sleep in anything though.
Good to know.
Moving on. Luke, what did you do this week?
This is another kind of off week for me.
That's a
I didn't-
hold.
I didn't
Sorry.
do a whole lot of.
They called it. We're good.
Okay, we're good. Keep me informed.
Yeah, no, I
Let
got
me know
you.
what's happening.
Sorry.
I didn't do a lot of watching or really a whole lot of playing. I mean, I played Destiny, but a lot of what I did came from reading material.
Ooh.
I don't even know actually if I talked about this last week or if this is just something I forgot to delete. Did I talk about Saga
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Broken Angels
Yeah.
last week?
Yeah.
Oh, so then I didn't do anything.
Oh.
You talked about finishing, I think, Volume 7 of
I don't-
Saga.
I don't think
Or
you
eight.
had,
Oh, I didn't say that I finished.
you hadn't finished
Okay.
it yet.
I'm
yeah,
caught
you were
up
like
in
an
Saga.
issue or a volume behind. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 9 volumes out. I told you guys
Yeah.
at Astra.
Yep.
That's what I did. Okay. Yeah, I'm caught up in Saga, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. I need Brian K. Vaughan to write the next one so I can get some closure with what the heck's going on.
Yeah.
But it's super good. Can't wait for more. And now I've moved on to another Brian K. Vaughan series, Paper Girls, and I've been really enjoying that. The other thing that I finished was I listened to the audiobook of the second book from the Takeshi Kovacs series, which is what Altered Carbon on Netflix is based on.
Oh.
The second book is called Broken Angels. It's completely different from the first book. The first book is a detective story solving a murder. This one is... It's like Indiana Jones in space.
Sounds awesome.
Kovacs doing it all.
Yeah, they're going out to this planet and they have information of a Stargate. It's not what they call it, but so you can understand what it is. That leads to a Martian ship, and it was really good. The author Richard Court K. Morgan is super good at like describing the action scenes. He's really descriptive. He uses a lot of creative metaphors and similes, so it's a lot of fun to listen to. However, with his very good description come the very awkward sex scenes in the book.
Oh, no.
It's just too much. And they're long chapters. But if you're interested in Altered Carbon as a show and you're kind of wondering what it's based on, you should check out those books. I'll eventually get to the third one. Or if you're interested in those books and you didn't know for some reason that it's based on a series, you should watch Altered Carbon on Netflix. Anyway, that's it.
Cool.
Wow. I did more than Luke this week.
I'm excited.
It's a miracle. But I will move quickly through these.
There was something else that I wanted to do but never got to. But keep going.
We also saw Rambo together.
Yeah.
And
We'll
we
talk
saw
about
Ad
that later.
Astra.
Yeah.
So I'm still reading the Forward collection. I think I mentioned that last week. It's collected by Blake Crouch. It's 6 novellas about the near future. Pretty cool. I've read 4 of them. Working on my 5th one now. The order I've read them, weirdly, they've gotten better as I read more. And I've kind of read them just how I feel. Not really based on any set length or anything like that. I'm just like, yeah, I'll do this one next. This author sounds cool. I'll do this one. They're all pretty good, though. I would put all of them at fanboy worthy for sci-fi as a whole. I watched Titans Season 2, Episode 3. Another strong episode. The show just tonally is so different this season. And every episode they drop like one or two little like Easter eggs that really excite me for what's to come. This week's were Blackfire. And now I can't think of the other one. I'll think of it later. I'll like blurt it out randomly. But
we wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, it's pretty cool though. They're doing a good job. I played some more Gears 5 because that game's amazing. I would really encourage you guys to play it if you have the opportunity. And then I played 2 new games this weekend. I played the Modern Warfare beta at length. That is a safety. Come on. What? They're giving him... Oh, my gosh. I hate referees. I played the Modern Warfare beta. I played with Seabull last night, actually, for about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. We played some of the ground war mode, which is essentially Battlefield, but with better gunplay, in my opinion. I think Battlefield handles the maps and vehicles much better than Call of Duty does. But ultimately, it's a shooter, and Call of Duty's gunplay is really good.
Really tight gunplay.
Well, the gunplay is so different now. Like it's so different. I mean,
it's always been it's been twitchy in terms of like really high fast time to kill or low time to kill, but like I've always felt like, you know, aiming and shooting in that game feels like responsive. I don't feel like I'm all over the place.
Yeah, you
like,
don't
with
feel
some
like you're
other
swaying.
games.
Yeah. And you know, like one thing Call of Duty, I think this Call of Duty does really well is the new gun mechanics. Like there's a lot more penalty for recoil, a lot more gun sway. It just feels more like, I don't know, like kind of like Siege, like Rainbow Six Siege. It kind of reminds me of that, but it's still Call of Duty at heart. It's just on a new engine, and there's some new mechanics that I think are good for the game. Ultimately, though, I really like it. Like I'm really looking forward to this entry. I think it's a step in the right direction. It's nice to see a franchise that's been around for so long do something different, adding vehicles, not like Blackout, but you know, tanks and things like that.
I was gonna say, how does it retroactively make you feel about Call of Duty 4 or Black Ops 4? Sorry, this is Call of Duty 4.
So I said something this weekend, and it may piss people off who like Black Ops 4. But this is the most Call of Duty has felt like Call of Duty to me
Mm-hmm.
in a long time. Like, it feels like what Call of Duty has always been advertised to be.
Yeah.
Which I haven't felt that way since Advanced Warfare. Like, I felt like all of them have just felt, oh, we're in the future, we're doing this, we're doing that. Like, this one, like, it's modern. You're playing with guns you've actually heard of that aren't made up names.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just nice. It's a refreshing take. The new hit marker sounds really good to me. I really like it. I know it's a weird detail, but I always take note of that stuff.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Okay.
Do the guns still sound like they're plastic?
No.
Oh, thank goodness.
The gun sounds like the realism that they've tried to add.
The guns actually go bang.
The guns actually, yes. The guns actually are loud. Like, when you shoot a Desert Eagle, it is freaking annoying because it's so loud and it's so annoying to try and control. But it's really good. I'm really impressed with it. You know, if I was rating the beta, like the game based on the beta,
Sure.
I'd say it's fanboy worthy. I think if you're, and I'm not going to say if you're a Call of Duty fan, but if you're a shooter fan, I think you'll like it. And one thing I was talking to Siebel about last night was you, actually. We
Yeah.
were talking about, because we were playing Ground War, and like Ground War has always been a mode where it's like 10v10 or whatever, or 8v8, and the normal mode is 6v6.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this one it's 32v32. Like, it's a big field. It's like Conquest on Battlefield, but it plays quicker. So like, it's not a 45-minute game. It's
Right.
15 minutes, which is nice. Like, I
Feels way
enjoy
more,
that.
Yeah, up my alley versus
Right,
traditional Call of Duty or
Right.
even Black Ops 4.
Right, there's vehicles, there's 5 capture points, there's high ground, and there's hills to go up. And we only played the one map. But I'm excited to see. I think the mode will thrive if they support it.
Yeah.
But it really is going to depend on how many players are playing it. You know what I mean? And we did the crossplay thing.
Oh, yeah, because he's on PC.
He was on PC, I was on Xbox, and it was... We had a little bit of issues at first getting into matches, but once we got going, it was pretty seamless.
Nice. That's cool that it's working that well in the beta.
Yeah, this is the most stable beta I think I've ever played. I got kicked once.
Nice.
In like a 2-ish day window.
Yeah.
I got kicked once. I almost level capped the beta.
Remember when we played that Anthem beta and it took
That
us
was
like...
a demo. You watch your mouth. I don't know why I'm defending it, but yeah, I remember
why
that too.
That's a big deal.
Man,
to
I
you.
just remember how smoothly it ran compared to the alpha.
Oh, that's right. We did also play the... Or did just you play the...
I was the only person that
You played the
alpha.
private
Okay.
alpha or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, you did the private one.
Mhm.
That's right.
But no, all in all, I'm really excited for October 25th. I think this is probably the strongest entry since Black Ops 2 at
Yeah.
this point. Now we'll see how they support it.
Sure.
But yeah, really excited about it. And then I played The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, a game I said I would not buy if it was full price, and I bought it. I watched a little bit, and I was like, man, that game looks awesome. And then I went to Walmart, and it was $10 off because of my little hack thing that I've somehow stumbled upon.
Look at you.
And I went and bought
My
it,
hacks.
and I started playing it, and this is awesome. Like, look, I like Breath of the Wild a lot, but this game is a great reminder of where Zelda came from and what Zelda truly is.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend you pick it up. I even rated it as a booyah. Like, I think Dana will play this. Like,
Oh,
it's
wow.
seriously so good. Like, I enjoy it so much. I played it for like 3.5 hours yesterday.
Nice.
And I couldn't get enough. Like, all I could think about at work today is like, man, I really want to go home and play Link's Awakening. But like, obviously I can't because the Redskins are on TV. But no, it's awesome. I hope you guys get a chance to play it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Like,
try and pick that up this week.
It's so good.
I've been looking for another game to play on my Switch.
This was the one that I was like, I don't know. It's kind of close to Pokemon. Like, we'll see. And then I was like, I watched a couple of streams of it, and I was like, yeah, I need that.
Since I know it's safe to say this because I know Stephanie doesn't watch or listen to the podcast. She doesn't actually listen to the podcast at all. This seems like maybe be a good Christmas present because Ori is coming out for the Switch. I think like this week, like on Wednesday
really?
or something. Yeah.
Dang
So
it.
I know she's gonna want to play through that again,
Mm-hmm.
and so maybe I can push this to be like a
Yeah, it's
Christmas
seriously so much fun, man, and it's simple.
What
You
if
know,
I
it's-
wait to get it and just buy it from you?
buy it from me?
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see if Dana gets into it.
Okay.
And it could be one I revisit. I don't know. It's so fun, man. I'm at the castle right now. Oh, so good. But yeah, highly recommend it. definitely try to play it in some capacity.
Nice.
And that is
Looking forward to it.
good.
Sweet. Oh, you did do.
I did a lot this week,
You
man.
did do a lot.
I was a busy person.
I did not do a lot. I pretty much only did one thing. I did two things. I saw Astra with you guys, which we'll review later. But then I binged Disenchantment Season 2.
Nice.
Or Part 2, as Netflix calls them, because apparently Netflix doesn't want to have seasons. They want to have parts. That's fine.
That's innovation right there. They're changing the game with that.
They are game changers. Hey, they won an Emmy last night for Bandersnatch.
I saw that. I saw that and immediately it was like, oh, I bet Luke is pissed right now.
Luke didn't know. I just ruined
No,
Luke's
I
day.
knew.
Okay.
Did you see the ratings from Rotten Tomatoes? Like critics gave it 0%.
Have you seen? It's 70% fresh, Bandersnatch.
Really?
Yes.
I did not think it was going to be that high.
However, if you go read the reviews, it's I didn't like this, but this is innovative,
Ugh.
which is the worst kind of review. One of the worst kind of reviews.
Yeah. Anyways, we're not here to talk about Bandersnatch. Bandersnatch. We are here to talk about Disenchantment Part 2. So this is from Matt Gearing, the creator of The Simpsons and Futurama. Set in medieval times. I think if you've seen the first season, I don't know, did either of you guys watch the first season?
I don't watch any of his stuff.
Okay. So I still don't think this quite lives up to Futurama levels of quality. I think The Simpsons was good for a while, but Simpsons got so stale.
The Simpsons is an overrated action movie. Go back last week, we talked about that.
I agree.
And then I think like Futurama just, I don't know if it's because they can do so much more with that setting, but it just opens up this whole wide world. And they've kind of tried to do that with, I'm going to keep on calling it Season 2 of Disenchantment, where they've brought in magic a little more. They've brought in technology to a certain degree. There's like a steampunk city that is cool. There. But the problem is they only kind of really dip their toes in. Like pretty soon out the gate, they've kind of undone everything they did at the end of Season 1, which I was really excited about. I was excited for a show, an animated show, comedy like this that pushed the narrative and did certain things like kill off main characters. And within like 2 or 3 episodes, I don't even consider this a spoiler because they kind of hint at it in the trailer, but they bring back Elfo, who they killed off at the end of the first season. They've undone
They supernaturaled it.
They've undone all of the stuff to the kingdom, like at the end of it, and so we get more time with those characters, which is really cool because they're well written characters. Unfortunately, it just does kind of feel like a big season reset. You know, sitcoms kind of have a weekly episode reset, and this kind of felt like a season reset where it's like, okay, by the time the season ended, we're almost right back to where the first season ended.
Does it kind of feel like you don't even really need to watch the first season?
No, not you really. You lose out on certain character things.
But like if you watched it, you wouldn't be lost.
Not really. Like I said, like there's some like stuff that like at the end of the first season, like the entire kingdom, their kingdom is like turned to stone, right? And the main character Bean is sailing away on the ship, and like you won't understand why everyone's turned to stone if you.
She's going to Bravos. She's gonna learn
study
how
with
to,
the faceless men.
Yeah, she got that coin.
Yeah, got that coin. But no, like overall, it's still really good. I probably wouldn't quite. It's maybe a low fanboy worthy high Matthew McConaughey.
Is it better than the first season?
No.
Okay.
That's such a quick answer.
No hesitation.
Yeah. Like, he didn't even have to think about it. He's no.
It's not as good as the first season, and part of that's because, for me at least, it undoes a lot of the stuff cool things that the first season did do.
That's frustrating.
That said, it's an extension of a good first season, so like it's not bad. I'm not not recommending it. But no, I just think they had some opportunities to really push things forward, and instead it feels like they've kind of stretched it out to make
more episodes.
Right. So that's kind of frustrating. But anyways, that's all I did this week. Should we move on to
some news?
Should we do some news? You want to do news or you want to do Rambo?
Let's do some news.
Okay.
Switch it up from the things we've been talking about. Let's talk about the future.
Let's talk about the future.
A couple trailers this week. We got a new Knives Out trailer. The final trailer. I don't know if you watched it.
I did not watch this very intentionally, just because I don't want anything spoiled. And Ryan Johnson was very clear with it. Like, I don't have control over the trailers, so.
I watched it. I think it still looks good.
Mm-hmm.
It's tonally opposite from the first trailer.
Yeah, it's very different.
Oh, interesting.
It looks more like, oh, this is a mystery, not, oh, this is gonna be kooky.
Yeah, I remember, like, I specifically leaned over when we saw it in front of Rambo, and I was like, this looks like a different movie.
It looks different.
And I was like, this is kind of weird.
It looks good, though. So
yeah, it does
I'm
look
excited
good.
for it.
It does look good.
Oh, man, I'm here for it on a damn.
Oh, yeah. That's a killer cast.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's killer. I mean, somebody was murdered.
Whoa!
The last whodunit I watched with a killer cast was awful. So
Murder Mystery?
no, I didn't watch that one.
Murder on
the
the
Orient
Express.
Murder Mystery was okay. It was pretty good. It was enjoyable. It was good enough.
Yeah.
It's good enough. It was an Adam Sandler movie, so you're not expecting a lot.
It was a better Adam Sandler movie is how I would describe it.
Another trailer we got was for Frozen 2.
That's right. That one just came out today.
Mm-hmm.
I almost didn't watch it, but
I
was
didn't watch
bored,
it.
so I did.
I watched it just so we could talk about it.
It
Story trailer, at least.
looks fine. I don't know.
Now I know slightly more about their motivations.
I have it like queued up on my phone, and I just never got around to watching it.
I don't like Olaf.
Yeah.
I get it. He's the kid character.
Yeah.
He's there for the kids. I think it looks like a sequel to a popular animated movie that would come out to me.
Yeah.
It's a good description
Like,
of
but that's,
what it is.
That's all it looks like. It's just like, oh, this movie was successful. We need a sequel. Let's do this. Like, it doesn't look super creative. I don't know.
Yeah, it reminds me more of like a... This is going to sound harsh. It reminds me more of like a Cars 2.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it doesn't look bad, but it does like...
That being said,
Cars 2 is not good.
I hated that movie.
I don't like Cars 2, but so what I'm saying is it's not on that level of like, I think this is going to be an awful movie.
Yeah.
It's more of, I think that it just kind of feels like we have IP and we need to make money off of that IP.
Yeah.
So let's make and hopefully, I mean, the story looks fairly intriguing. Yeah. It has to do a lot more about the source of magic and that kind of stuff. So I think there's some cool opportunities there.
Mm-hmm.
There's some like back and forth between Anna and Elsa in the trailer that I really like about the running, don't follow me into fire. Well, don't go running into, like, it's that like, they're both kind of that stubborn, I'm here to help you, I don't need your help, and then those personalities clashing.
Yeah.
I think can be fun.
All I know is that whenever Kristoff talks, I just picture Jonathan Groff talking about serial killers.
Oh no!
And I can't get past it because the dude who voices Kristoff is Holden from Mindhunter. So
That's
he's
awesome.
talking, and I'm just like, oh man, he's after somebody in Arendelle. Somebody's coming after him. BTK's in Arendelle. Oh my gosh.
He's slowly just making a profile on Elsa. Let's be honest.
Oh my gosh. He's coming for you. Next trailer we got was El Camino.
Yeah.
More of like a clip trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've ever said this on the pod. I probably have. I've said a lot. I really like Breaking Bad. I also think it's overrated. I'm still super excited for this, though. Pinkman, I loved Aaron Paul's Jesse Pinkman, and I'm really glad this is coming out because I feel like that show gave me no closure whatsoever with this character.
So here's my daring admission. I've never watched a single episode of Breaking Bad.
You should check it out. It's good.
I've just never had a desire to watch it.
I didn't finish it. I enjoyed what I watched, but I was not at the age to really. I didn't really enjoy it at the time. I think if I went back now and probably started over, I'd really enjoy it. And I just haven't sat down and really sunk the time in. I know everything that happens, but
See, I don't.
There were some parts.
see, you would probably
I have
really
no
enjoy
spoilers for
There
the
were some
show.
parts, and I don't really remember where it was. It might have been the middle of season 4 or the beginning of season 5, kind of. And I dropped off of it because I was getting so bored.
Yeah.
I thought it really dropped off in just progressing the story forward.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually I was like, what the heck am I doing? I should finish this. It's considered like the best show of all time.
Yeah.
And the ending is definitely worth it.
Oh.
Regarding the main character.
Right.
But yeah, then Pinkman, I didn't get no closure, so I'm really glad I can finish that story.
Yeah.
Was there any more trailers? I only had those 3.
Those are the ones that I had as well.
All right.
There was a teaser thing.
For what?
State of Play tomorrow.
Oh.
At WB Montreal.
And Naughty Dog.
So yeah, Naughty Dog has been
Teasing up some Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
2.
You excited? You nervous?
Yeah, I'm nervous.
Are you nervous?
I don't know if I should watch it.
I'll watch it and I'll tell you if you should watch it.
No, just because, like, kind of what you did for Red Dead 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Red Dead's your favorite game. The Last of Us is my favorite game.
Yeah.
I love that game. It blew my mind. So why not just go in as dark as possible? I watched the gameplay from E3 like 12 years ago or whatever, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, but then also W Montreal with a new Batman game. I'm really jacked for State of Play.
Dude, are we going to have to... Sorry, I thought I was
What are you
bleeding.
Don't be bleeding.
No, I'm not. I thought, like, when I watched
Do you bleed?
They're definitely making a Court of Owls game. But if we have to fight Batman, I'm going to, like, cower in my living room while I play it.
Yeah.
That's a scary thought.
I think it'd be really cool, and like if Batman really is barely in it. Like, what if it's a completely different game and you like get to create your Talon character?
You know what I bet it is? I bet you're Bruce
I bet you're
infiltrating the Court of Owls.
I bet you're Dick
Or Dick.
infiltrating Court of Owls. I bet it's kind of a Agent 37 spiral
Agents of
kind
Spiral
story.
story.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yep.
And then you uncover his
Yep.
family history, and it's
Yeah.
Actually, you're probably right. I'm excited.
And then you're gonna be meeting up with Bruce kind of throughout the story.
Yeah,
Plus, I think that'd be nice because
they have that
we've
character model. So
yeah,
they
we've
want
had
that.
4 games with Bruce, and his story ended in night.
It did.
For the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Batman never goes away, but Gotham needs a Batman.
Some other Batman news. Batman is
Yeah.
invading the world of Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So if you
So
play
I-
Fortnite, grab those skins.
I watched Ninja streaming it for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, when you use your glider as Batman, he just pulls his wings out, and I was like, this is so awesome.
What does Catwoman do?
I don't know. I haven't seen her
Does
any
she have,
gameplay
like, just
of her.
a cat parachute?
I don't know. Like, his glider is like the Batwing. Like, he just holds onto the bottom of it. But then, like, he has another thing where he'll, like, open up his...
So like when you like
That's
jump,
cape.
you can like glide a little bit.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's awesome.
That's cool.
And then there's also, like, batarangs, and the grapple gun obviously is now Batman themed, and it's pretty cool. And Tilted Towers is now Gotham City, and there's like Acme Chemicals, and
Oh, that's cool.
it's pretty awesome.
See, it is.
And I was like, man,
But also at the
I
same
hate
time,
Fortnite.
Yeah. Also, it's Fortnite.
it's kind of lame.
Yeah, it's Fortnite, and I will never forgive it for that.
I don't think I've played since our last stream of that, like a year and a half
Me
ago or
either.
something.
But
I
there,
finally took it off my hard drive.
Yeah, should
I
do
did
that.
too.
Free up some room.
Like I didn't need to free up room, but I was like, I hated scrolling through like 100 games just to get to anything. So I was like, I don't play this. I'm never gonna play this. Yeah.
there's also
What if
some.
they come out with Destiny themed Fortnite?
He'll play it.
I would play that.
It would be Destiny themed or Apple themed, and he'll play it.
Running around as Steve Jobs.
Throwing iPads at people. No, there is.
Making breaking announcements.
There is.
It's a watch.
Oh my gosh. There is more Batman news, though.
Yes.
There is.
There is some casting stuff. Jonah Hill is in talks to play a rogue, and Matt Reeves the Batman. Who do you guys think he is?
Penguin. That's the obvious go-to.
I think that's why. I
Professor
don't think it's
Pig,
that.
dude.
I don't think
Oh, you
it's
think
that
so?
obvious.
That would be awesome.
He hasn't. Obviously, we don't know what's happening in the
Mhm.
movie, which is good. But he hasn't been one of the rumored 6 villains in the movie.
No, but yeah, that's true. Honestly, the
I can't
favorite is
remember all of the
Penguin. Like, if I were a
news.
betting person, I would bet on Penguin.
Who else has been rumored?
Penguin, Catwoman. Maybe it'd be Catwoman. It's 2019. Two-Face, Riddler,
Mad Hatter,
and
Scarecrow. No, Scarecrow.
I don't remember.
Calendar Man.
But it's like the villain cast from the Long Halloween.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think he'd probably do.
If he's including Dark Victory stuff, then I guess he'd be more. I think Professor Pig was in that.
I just want him to be in it just because I think Professor Pig is a cool villain to take down on like a street level.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not like doing any crazy stuff. He's just a
No, he's
douche who
doing crazy
murders
stuff.
people. Yeah, but it's not like
Right?
extraordinary. Like he's just a murderer who cuts people up,
Mm-hmm.
and he wears a mask while he does it. Like
Yeah, he's psycho.
I just think it'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
But I definitely think he's the Penguin. I'm with you.
That's
Jonah Hill's a really talented actor.
Mhm.
I don't care what he plays. I'm glad he's in the movie.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
that wasn't the only
No, there's another one.
though.
Do you
What
want
was
that
the-
one, or you
no,
want me to do it?
You got it.
Jeffrey Wright, and this was kind of sad, but is in talks to play Commissioner Gordon.
I'm not sad at all. I think this is great.
I just kind of wanted to see more of J.K. Simmons as Gordon. I'm not upset about the choice.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's awesome. I really wanted J.K. Simmons to have another crack at it just because he got such an unfair shake in Justice
Mhm.
League.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this dude will crush it either way.
I am a big fan for multiple reasons. First one being Jeffrey Wright is a great actor.
Yep.
Second one being this is just kind of confirmation to lots of people out there that this is not connected to
Mhm.
anything Snyder related,
Right.
and that we're moving on.
Yep.
Get that, people? We're moving on. The third being, I kind of took this as a confirmation that Zoe Kravitz is going to be Barbara Gordon.
Oh.
She's been a rumor for a while.
For a while.
Mm-hmm. So that's me reading from behind the page.
He's
Yeah.
reading. He's got his foil hat on.
Yeah. No, that sounds good. All sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'm fine with all of those choices. That's exciting though.
Yep. Oh man, I'm so excited for another Batman movie. Just can't help it.
Me too.
Does anybody more thoughts on that? Okay. I don't think any of us watched it, but the Emmys were last night.
I watched about 14 seconds.
I followed it on Instagram.
I watched
I just
the
kept track on
D&D acceptance speech, and then I saw the tweets about making fun of it.
Oh,
yeah,
I retweeted that one. Yeah,
they talk like they write.
Mm-hmm. But I guess the two big winners, the three winning series being drama, Game of Thrones, comedy was Fleabag, and then limited series was Chernobyl.
Shout out to Chernobyl.
Yeah.
God, it's a good.
I know
limited
you're a
series.
huge fan of that. I need HBO Max to come out so I can watch it. But I think everybody can kind of agree that one of the biggest things to come out of last night was the fact that Game of Thrones won for purely only being the final season.
Yeah, it
of
was.
Game of
It was
Thrones.
in retrospect, like
That's so stupid.
for all other 6 seasons, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Here you
That's
go.
kind of that's why I worry about like if they nominate Robert Downey Jr. for an Oscar. It's like
right.
you're basing it on 20 movies or whatever.
You're not
I guess
just basing
you're
it
not
on
basing
the-
it on one small piece of
Yeah.
the pie. Like you're basing it on 500 pies. Like it's weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
It happens occasionally. I mean, you'll hear. I mean, like Leo and The Revenant right? Like that was kind of like considered a career win for him because
Yeah.
he had been nominated a number of times, never won. So
And it was a
and,
weak year.
it was. To be fair, I think his performance did actually merit a nomination.
Absolutely.
I love that movie.
So no, but it is interesting to see things like Game of Thrones winning Best Drama Series, even Peter Dinklage getting Best Supporting Actor for.
I was good with that one. I think Dinklage was the best.
He was maybe the best part of season 7. I don't
8
or 8, but I don't think he was nearly as good as previous years.
Yeah.
So again, I feel like that was more of a in retrospect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad he got something. I wish he would have won for seasons, I don't know, 5 or 6, maybe 8 or 7 even. Like, so much of this season was just rushed that, yeah.
Were you a little disappointed that Amy Adams didn't?
I was a little disappointed that she didn't win for Sharp Objects. I have not seen
Fosse Verdon?
Yeah.
I hadn't even heard of it.
So maybe I'll
What
need to check
show?
it out now.
Fosse/Verdon.
I don't know what it's on.
Probably a streaming service. But Bill Hader won for Barry, which is cool.
That's another HBO one that I'll always vouch for. Barry is great. Bill Hader is fantastic. If you haven't seen it yet, Chapter 2, I should say, like, there's a movie where he proves he's not just the comedic SNL.
He's not just a stand-up guy.
Right, he's not just a stand-up
Well, I
comedian.
mean, he is
actually a stand-up comedian in that movie too. But
Yeah.
he has
played
some
restraints.
acting chops.
Yep.
So
I was cool to see Tony Shalhoub win, mainly because I was a fan of Monk.
yes, again, I haven't seen his performance
Yeah,
in this, but
I need to
a
watch
career win,
that.
maybe. I guess one that I'm slightly more okay with.
I need to watch Mrs. Maisel, and I need to watch Fleabag.
Yeah.
I think I'm moving those to the top of my list because I've never heard anything bad about either.
The thing about the Emmys, and it does give you like a reprioritization
Of
for
like
the end
what
of the
to
year.
watch. Yeah.
Kind of like, the Oscars do with movies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like their dates though. They have I don't know. It's a weird. It's
They have
like
a weird window of time that makes them
like
eligible or whatever.
June to
Yeah.
May. Like what got in? I mean, Haunting of Hill House was my favorite show. Could have been in this discussion. Nothing. Like
Yeah, if you're in the wrong window of time, you're not going to
Yeah.
get a nomination. That's
Right.
true. It is weird.
Yeah, but that being said, these awards are meaningless. So who cares? It's always
Okay.
nice to be validated, but it doesn't matter.
Okay. The big news everybody was waiting for this week, I think, is Jared Padalecki of Supernatural will star in a reboot of, wait for it, Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh yes, I'm so here for this. 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's gonna get all the Emmys, comedy and drama. It's gonna be nominated for
Comedy
both.
doesn't count if you're making fun of it. It's not going to try to be funny. It's just accidentally going to be funny.
Maybe it will be like a thing when a movie comes out, like The Room, where they're like, it's a drama, and then it comes out and everybody makes fun. He's like, it's a comedy.
Surprise.
Go back in and ADR some jokes.
Yeah. Maybe a laugh track.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This is dumb. In my
Yeah,
opinion.
it's
I'm not a fan of Supernatural, so I can't comment on if I'm not really excited about it just because I just don't care, I guess.
Yep.
Whatever, prove me wrong. Make me care.
You know what is a comedy? This Redskins defense.
Oh no.
Gosh.
No.
How does nobody get hands on a receiver running right across the middle of the field? So
Uh-oh.
stupid.
Well, is there any other news? I don't have anything
I have
else.
one left, and I think it's the
Go
coolest
for
news
it.
of the weekend. Or until today, obviously. So the big CW crossover is December and January this year.
Yep.
Pretty cool announcement. Tom Welling and Erica Durant are going to reprise their roles in the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. Tom Welling played Clark Kent. Erica Durant played Lois Lane. This is Dana will never admit it, but Smallville is definitely Dana's favorite show. And
Why won't she admit that? There's nothing.
I don't know. She'll never
there.
say it is, but I definitely know it is because she's watched all the way through at least twice.
Oh my gosh.
That's a lot. But she almost cried when Tom Welling was announced. She was so excited. She's so excited about it. I think that's awesome. I can't wait to see how they bring him back in an interesting way. What on earth? How did what? Like Trubisky was just like I got to throw this soft because he's wide open. How do I miss this? Sorry.
Football.
Redskins defense sucks. I thought that was going to be their strong suit. But yeah, I think that news is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for it. I feel like I need to catch up to watch it, but at the same time, like the crossovers are pretty self-contained, and I feel like I'll be fine.
Watched last year's crossover and the crossover before that without watching any of the shows.
I watched last year's crossover, and I didn't watch the one for it.
Yep.
The Earth X one?
Yeah,
I didn't watch that one. That's what I've heard.
I think it was better than whatever the one was last year.
Last year's was good, but it had some really like weird. The Batwoman stuff was all just not good. But
I'm wondering what else they've got under their belt to add. Like, obviously, like, Brandon Routh is in Legends, so he's already kind of a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So he might have been an easy get, but, like, are they going to try and grab other people from the Donner Reeves stuff? Like, could they go into some really obscure, older DC movies to bring in people to reprise roles?
Those less obvious, like, the older stuff will be cool Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Versus, like, these, big announcements that they're doing now. They'll keep those hush hush until the thing actually comes out, and you'll be like, "Oh,
yeah,
I know that."
Yeah,
I think that reference.
I'm really excited to see Welling, Routh, and whatever the
Hoechlin
all standing next to each other, and there's different Superman outfits.
Yeah, I think the one thing I think that is not really going to be talked about until it happens, but it would not shock me one bit if some of the Titans characters make some sort of appearance, because it's Berlanti, and he has a hand in Titans. And they film in the same place. Like, it would not shock me, because they're filming right now for Titans. Like, there are people there filming. It would not shock me one bit.
I would actually, I think, prefer a Doom Patrol character.
That'd be awesome.
Because they just go to the weirdest places. They can do anything in that show. Mm-hmm. Mainly because it was if Mr. Nobody could control the universe, pretty much. So they're going into different dimensions and into snow globes and whatnot. But
dude, the snow globe stuff is so awesome,
dude,
though.
I love that show. But, like, the Titans is really grounded.
Yeah, that's true.
So all of a sudden, bringing in characters from a different dimension, and we're in a timeline. Then you go back, like, and then do you reference that? Do you talk like, oh, like, I just helped all these other superheroes in a different timeline? Like,
I think the biggest, like, the only way they would do it would probably be, do you remember in, like, season 2 of The Flash when he's running through the time stream and we saw Supergirl for the first time?
Oh, yeah.
I could see them doing something like that.
Oh, okay. Like, they just have a little clip from the Titans.
Right. Or, like, it's a news sequence, like, on a TV, like, man turned animal does something, you know what I mean? Like, I think there could be, like, more allusions to it.
Tell you what I want them to bring in the Young Justice to the Crisis, but I still want them to be
like animated. They go to an animated world.
I want it Roger Rabbit style. They come in as their animated character and just like, what the heck is going on? Why do y'all look so weird? Let it
be Bart or Wally. Yeah. Trophy.
Yes, and then in the show they have this, like, actually this real thing.
Let's let him steal Oliver's bow. Like, yes. Like his compound bow, not the original bow. That would be awesome.
That'd be so weird.
We're getting wishful thinking here. Yeah, let's discuss Rambo.
Ad nauseam.
Did you watch Rambo?
No, I did not watch Rambo.
Good for you.
Oh.
This
is a movie.
It was a Rambo movie.
It was it was a Rambo movie.
In title.
Yep. It's
character.
It's a Liam Neeson movie we've seen 5 times.
It was any old guy revenge movie.
That's true.
It was interesting, and it was poorly made.
Yeah. So Poorly acted, poorly written, poorly directed.
I think I didn't think Stallone was bad.
No, I thought he was the only hope that it
Yeah,
had.
I didn't think he was great or good like he is
No.
when he reprised Rocky in the Creed movies. But he was at least somewhat holding this thing together.
There was 2 actors I thought that weren't terrible,
Mm.
and it was him and the brother who dies.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah. That's
The one
I mean,
with,
people
the
die
one
in a
with the
Rambo
long
movie.
the more crazy one.
Yeah, I thought he was actually not bad too, but he also knew what he was like, what kind of movie he was
Yeah.
in. Like I thought he did a good job.
Yeah, pretty much agree with everything you say. I felt like this movie ended on a really strong sequence.
Dude, the end of this movie's awesome.
So like,
Watch it on YouTube in 2 months.
yeah.
It'll be there.
The problem with this movie, I think, is they made this movie based on that scene.
Mm-hmm. They needed a reason
This
to
really
get there.
long scene.
They needed a reason to get there.
Yeah. And then for everything else, they're just like, this works. Yeah, let's put the plot from Taken in. And I guess that works. It could work. The problem is the writing and the direction and everything is so bland
Bad.
to mediocre at best that it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
That being said, I did actually have a lot of fun during this movie.
I did too.
Through the badness and the awesome action scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think the end of the movie, like the action is like what you hope to see from a
Yes.
Rambo movie. Like I felt like it really captured like this is the last sequence is like why you go to see this movie.
Yeah.
Like it's literally it. And everything prior just is not good. So, but like that's why I say watch it on YouTube in 2 months because it'll be there,
Yeah.
and it's super worth watching.
It's fantastic.
And it looks good.
Yeah.
Like some of the CG work
It
they do looks good.
It was tense. It was entertaining. It's full Rambo. Like it's in line, especially with like Rambo 4. Like holy goodness. But yeah, it's kind of a slog through.
Mm-hmm.
My other pro that I put it on Twitter, I forgot to write it down, was this movie's an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's short.
If you would skip the credits.
It's so short, dude. It honestly though, like it's short, but it feels long to me.
I did not think it felt long.
I thought everything prior to the last scene felt drawn out, like way too drawn out.
Someone walked in with like a 60-page spec script, and they were like, how can we make this a feature?
You know who that somebody was? His name is Sylvester. He walked in. He's like, I want to be Rambo.
You know what I think it was?
I'm doing it.
I think somebody just wrote a script.
Who's the writer?
And then they were like, this
Sylvester
could be a
Stallone's
Rambo
one of
movie.
them.
Let's see if Stallone
Oh,
wants
really?
to do this.
Stallone's one of the writers on
Oh,
it.
he is?
Mhm.
Oh, poor guy. He
He should have paid to have his name taken off of that.
I think the author of the original book wants his name off of it. Did you see his tweet?
Mm-mm.
The original author of the book Rambo. He's like, I'm embarrassed to have my name attached to this.
And you know what? I would agree with him if it were me.
I wouldn't, because I'd be making money from it.
Well, yeah. All $12
He's
it
probably
made
not
this
making
weekend.
much.
Another touchdown for the Bears, the
Where
team
the
that
heck?
hasn't scored a touchdown all year.
Where in
Awesome.
the world do I see writer?
How do we?
What are we rating this one, Luke?
I give it a straight to streaming, mainly because there's the Rambo diehards and the 80s action diehards out there that, if they haven't seen it yet, I think they'll really enjoy it. And also, like, if this would have been on Netflix or something, I definitely
Would have
would
watched
watch this, and I think it's kind of caliber to the Netflix original
Yeah.
movie level.
I was hoping to make you think I was going to give it a dumpster fire. I wouldn't. I'd give it a straight to streaming because it's a Rambo movie. Almost the same reason you think so, but
Even like taking the Rambo name off of it,
it would fit as a Netflix movie.
It reminds me a lot of The Predator, where that movie. First of all, The Predator is way worse than this movie, but there's like
Tyler doesn't seem to agree.
I don't agree, but
I thought The Predator was borderline awful, except for the Predator escape scene, which
I just
almost redeemed it totally for me.
I thought it was more entertaining. Like this, I thought Rambo tried to have an emotional beat that just didn't stick to me. Like I get it, I just I wasn't engaged, and I think it's because the girl was such a bad actress that I was just like, okay, cool, we don't need this. Like, just let me have Rambo killing people and I'm good. Mm-hmm. He doesn't need a reason. Just let him be pissed that he can't kill people anymore. Yeah. So he just starts killing people. But at least in The Predator, it was entertaining to me.
I think I'm the opposite with that. I thought they were trying a little harder with this. It's just that the swings were big whiffs. Whereas in The Predator, they're like, oh, this is good enough. We'll consider autism a blessing. Like, autism isn't a struggle for people in the real world. We should want people to have it. Like, no. Okay.
Right. And that's super dumb. I agree with that. But everything around that was, in my opinion, more entertaining, minus the end scene.
Also, this one's shorter.
Yeah, it is shorter. Yeah, Predator's 2 hours, right?
Yeah, it's too long. It just kept going.
Yeah. We can agree to disagree.
So
and that's okay.
Also,
I hate you now.
There's 3 credited writers. Sylvester Stallone has a credit for story and screenplay.
Yikes.
This other I didn't look at the other screenplay guy, but the other story by credit has written 4 things in the last 20 years.
The Predator?
No.
That would be awesome.
Another sequence I actually really liked in this movie was the part where he's down in Mexico and he just gets the snot beat out of him.
Yeah, that was good.
I thought that it just seemed different because this dude is 75. He's not going to be able to just
fight him off.
Yeah. Like, he tackles the one dude, but then he just gets beat up.
And I honestly thought they were going to make him, like, somehow
I thought they were going to turn him into Jason Bourne when they're walking through all the hallways and alleyways.
How much did this feel like Logan? Like,
not at all.
Not in terms of... Sorry, let me rephrase that.
No. I think I know what you're asking, but...
How much did this feel like we watched Logan and we're like, we can do that with Rambo?
I don't know.
Because at the beginning of Logan, he gets beat up by a group. I mean, he stopped short of them letting them beat him up, and there's a really awesome, I'm going to stab you through the face. But, like, clearly if it wasn't for his superpowers, he would have gotten beat up, and then it kind of goes to be a last hurrah.
I'd say it's very different because he doesn't know what he's actually getting himself into.
Oh.
He's just, his thing is he's like, I'm Rambo, I can do anything. Kind of, he has like that invincibility mindset.
Yeah.
And then he gets down there and he's like, nah, maybe not.
he gets more than he can really handle, but like he barely makes it.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd give it a straight to streaming.
I would agree. Oh my gosh, they got to bench Keenum, man. He's down. Like, you're super down. They were standing on your back. You dummy, stop running.
Are we ready to move on to Ad Astra then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, this one we all went and saw it together.
Yeah. I like it. Fun. I like it when we go and see the movies together.
I do too.
Oh, really quick, Rambo.
Sure.
One of the worst theater experiences I've ever had.
Oh no.
The family behind us brought like 4 or 5-year-olds with them. I don't know why. People will get their heads blown off with shotguns.
Ironically, there was a lot of kids in our theater in general. Like, not just behind us. Yeah.
Here's the thing. If
there was a kid in front of us, too.
Yeah. And there was a couple more down farther.
But it's rated R, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hard.
For good reason.
Here's I'm gonna get on my soapbox for a bit.
Please do.
If you can't get or afford a babysitter to go see a movie that your kids can't or shouldn't see, don't go to the movies with them.
Yeah.
The kids shouldn't be there. And also, the kids had their feet up on the chairs. They're kicking the chairs all like back and forth almost the whole movie. They're talking. They're going, "Oh, who's that character? Where are they going? Who's that? What's that? Is that a gun? Is this part going to be scary?" If you have to ask that question, is this going to be scary? It's too scary for the kid. Know why? It's because they're scared. That's why they're asking that.
And the dad was like, "No." It's like,
If you're paying for like, I get that children's tickets are discounted, but like, if you're paying for 5 children's tickets, you can like put that money plus a couple extra dollars towards a babysitter.
Yeah. It was I was getting so frustrated.
I wouldn't have talked to them maybe, but I would have at
There-
least gone
there's-
to the manager and been like, "Hey," because I can guarantee you the theater wasn't sold out. Just been like, to A, move seats, or B, be like, "Hey, I'm just having a really crappy experience. I'd like my money back."
There was a one point where I was getting ready to ask Tyler if he wanted to move a couple rows forward, but thankfully the movie was almost over. And
did you hear the lady next to us? Dude, she was loving it. She's like, "Oh yeah!" Oh, and I was like, "What?"
But yeah, and it got to the crazy action sequence at the end, and you can't hear the kids when
Yeah.
all the guns and explosions
Yeah.
are going on.
And the music is playing.
Yeah.
They're all like,
They're like, "Oh my gosh, that dude just got shot 80 times and his head isn't there anymore." Dad's like, "Yeah!"
Or a dude got a sword shoved through his face, pretty much. The equivalent of a sword made out of cast iron.
"Oh, so in the marketing, I know this. We were supposed to move on to Ad Astra.
Yeah,
but-
sorry.
It's okay.
So in the marketing, they make a big deal about his bow.
Of course he uses his bow.
Like, is it like
It's not a Rambo movie if he
is it
doesn't
like
use the bow.
one shot though?
He shoots
or-
4 shots.
He
Okay.
shoots 8 shots.
Oh, yeah, he does shoot 8 shots. You're right.
Twice. They're the same 4 shots.
Oh no.
And then he does something very extreme.
Yeah.
Like he uses a
Can
metaphor.
we
and-
just do it? Can we say it?
Yeah.
Hold
Put up
on.
a spoiler
I'll put up a
tag.
spoiler tag.
she's just
at the part
at
where
the part where the
dropped.
audio cut out.
We should be good now. So if you didn't hear that,
Luke liked that Astra. I like that Astra. Brett is lukewarm about it.
Lukewarm.
And we were talking about pros.
Well, we were talking about. Well, I want to talk about what you had mentioned about the subdued astronaut character, and I think you're right in that it is typically it's overused, and I don't know if it's always used as well as it is here, in terms of the needing it for the narrative. The narrative of this movie really does require that main character to be able to emote without doing a lot. And I think Brad Pitt does do that fairly well. Where I think it struggles is that it overcompensates by adding a ton of this voice in the head VO narration. That said, I would agree with Tyler in that I think that hopefully we can get into some more interesting astronaut characters in future movies. Not future Ad Astra movies or sequels,
right?
In space movies
in general.
That character trope doesn't become so much of a cliche, and it stays more of a minor character trope.
Right, and it's not a huge deal because I mean I don't know any astronauts personally, and maybe that is the kind of person they are. They have to be, and that's fine. But you bring up a good point. I guess it's a mild spoiler, but at the beginning they talk about his heart rate never going up.
Yeah.
And it sets you up you're going to be oh man, something crazy is going to happen and his heart rate's never going to change, or you know what I mean? And you get that once, but then you never really do it again. And you're just okay, I guess it was a cool premise. It sets up one of my cons is they set up a lot of really cool things and they just never quite deliver on them.
Yep.
I think I kind of disagree on that.
Interesting.
I think they did provide a lot of opportunity to show places where his heart rate would rise. It's not always just falling from a space antenna.
Right.
It's
in the it's in the trailer. It's in the trailer.
It's moments where he has I can't remember what's in the trailer. Where he has to take over in some situations because somebody else can't perform, or moments more in the end where heart rate is definitely more there's more fluctuation in what's going on, but then also some small moments when he's actually sending the message to his dad, and he goes off of the script thing and he's like, Dad, I want to see you again, and that's it's not falling from a space antenna or something like that, but it does show that those things are still a part of the story. And it gets more fluctuation and gets worse throughout the movie. So
I think the only scene...
I don't think I interpreted it. I did interpret that. I don't think I felt the film delivered it.
They didn't sell me on it that his heart rate had gone up.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Jeez, did he catch that? Okay.
And not that you need to always show the heart rate monitor.
Right.
But you can there is a moment near the end where there's very clearly he's going through something emotional and he's emoting about it, right? Show me that. That's good enough.
I think it's
super
gradual.
He does it well in the sending the message scene, and the moon stuff, the stuff that's happening on the surface of the moon. I think is early enough in the movie that it doesn't affect him. It doesn't really affect him as much. I just from when he launches off of Mars till the climax of the movie, I just don't feel like they sold me on his arc. But
okay.
I just felt I'm kind of in between you two because the scene with the message, they tell you, hey, your heart rate's kind of high. But I didn't feel it. Sure. I guess is more what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's they set it up, and I was oh, cool. We're gonna run into some cool stuff like that. But that's the only time they're, and I didn't want it to be action based. I wanted it to be emotional, which they do, but they tell me it.
Yeah,
Mm.
they don't.
Like
show
I
me that
didn't
emotion.
like yeah, and I didn't feel like Brad. Like he didn't. He showed me a guy who's trying to keep it together, but I didn't gather that his heart rate would be fluctuating like crazy or anything. I just gathered he's like, I'm kind of emotional about this.
So
I don't know if that makes sense, but
his performance is better than Tom Cruise in Oblivion,
I have not seen that movie.
but not as good as Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar.
Oh no.
You know,
Those are all three very high caliber actors
yes.
In space movies.
in space movies, and obviously Matthew McConaughey's character is just way more emotional to begin with.
And I think it helps that Matthew
But-
McConaughey's character has a Christopher Nolan direction and script.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
One of my big cons on here is the script.
Mm.
Is that like there's not a ton of dialogue. The dialogue that's there isn't awful.
But most of it is the Brad Pitt narration stuff.
The Brad Pitt narration stuff is so boring because so much of it is just you looking at his face, his lips not moving, and you hear his voice, and I can't tell you. I can tell you based on what I know of movies what he's thinking at the time, but I can't tell you what he's like. There's no memorable lines in this movie. I don't know. I never got that emotional arc from him, even in the final scene of this movie when he's doing more voiceover. Oh no, it's not all voiceover there. There he's actually talking to the computer.
I thought those scenes were cool. I really like those.
The psychological.
The
Yes,
psychological
I thought those were cool.
evaluations. Yeah.
I kind of feel like I'm ranking on this movie, but I actually liked it a lot.
I really did like it a lot. All the emotional beats, they really did work for me.
Good.
I won't say they were done extremely well or anything, but they worked for me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I didn't mind the narration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the narration
I would,
wasn't
however,
a huge
be
deal. for
really
me.
interested in seeing a version of this that doesn't have that.
Mm.
I
That
don't
would be
know.
cool.
I don't.
That would be interesting.
I just the problem because
It'd be
like
kind of quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I think of Blade Runner,
Yeah.
the original theatrical Blade Runner. Horrible because of the narration.
Yeah.
The difference though is that one is here's a narration about this scene about what's going on over a conversation with dialogue which has the plot in it.
Right.
They didn't trust Ridley Scott's version of the movie and they're like voice over it. Whereas this one it is Brad Pitt kind of telling you this is how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm alone in space and there's nothing I can do and I miss my daddy.
And I think you could, and that's what, like, you should be able to communicate that without having to tell me,
Yeah.
right? You can use the visual language of cinema to show me how he's isolated, to show me how he distances himself from others because of how his father distanced himself from him, right? Like, and they do some really cool stuff where they go from like these wide establishing shots, beautiful shots in space, to very confined shots inside of
The spacecraft.
the spacecrafts to help you get into that mindset of like,
I'm alone in this tiny rocket ship.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it grounds you a little more in the reality of it versus the kind of the epic sci-fi that someone like Nolan likes to do.
Yeah.
But no, I don't hate this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's an all right for me. There's just the things that could have made it special just didn't deliver for me.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't work.
The emotional beat throughout, like the big emotional beat in the movie lands for me like crazy good. Like I was like, yeah, that's relatable. I won't expand on that, but it really did. It's a fanboy worthy for me. I really enjoyed it. I know it sounds like I've been crapping on it, but for every bad thing, I have two good things to say about it.
Mm-hmm. It's a fanboy worthy for me too. It kind of reminded me of more usual kind of older style sci-fi where this is a slow burn.
It is a little
This is a
more
slow movie.
old school sci-fi.
You kind of got to be ready for it. Slow burn. But like movies like 2001.
Mm-hmm.
We really need to watch that with you. It's not 2001. It's not that. But how it's just like Yep, we're going to take our time with this. Here we go. Yep, still going. Yep, we're still going. Like, some really long scenes. And it doesn't, like I was really, like, hyped for sci-fi after I watched this. So Friday night I watched Interstellar.
Nice.
Because it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
I got home and I turned on No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
And I went and flew around.
Like, Interstellar, that movie has pace.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that movie's so good. But it's not that at all. It's more 2001 where it takes its sweet time, and if you would take out the narration, it would probably have the same amount of dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put my 2 cons were not much to it, slow burn.
Yeah.
Because the slow burn would be better if there was more going on, I think. But it's kind of sparse.
One of the really
happen.
interesting things for me is when some of their cinematography choices near the beginning of the movie, at the beginning of the movie, when the space elevator collapses and he's free fall, or it doesn't collapse completely, he gets blown off of it, and he's falling. They threw in some like GoPro on the chest camera kind of footage, and they go back to it a couple times where it's like it's kind of that first person point of view shot. And I know why they did it, but it was just another one of those things that I don't think it was done quite well enough, and it actually took me out of I didn't feel like I was in his head. I felt like, oh god, why am I experiencing this hardcore Henry moment?
I still haven't watched that.
I'm not gonna watch that. I think I'd get sick.
Yeah, don't. But then I also wanted to compliment it on the score. I thought the use of audio was really well.
Quick con about the score.
Oh, yeah.
It's not on Apple Music. What was it doing? Yeah,
it's good. It's good sci-fi.
Love those sci-fi atmospheric scores.
Yep.
Just makes you go,
oh.
And then I'll also,
especially when you're just flying by
since
Jupiter.
I've been the one who's being mean to it, I'll also say another nice thing, which is at the 3 action scenes that it has are really good.
Like, really good.
They're really good. It surprises me that they didn't have more.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would have seen that cut and been like,
we need more of that.
We need to delay this movie and get some more action in here because he knows how to do it. It's done really well.
The moon sequence, which is in the trailer, so I'll talk about that.
The moon sequence is done very well.
It's really good.
Good camera angles. They do a first-person shot. I wouldn't do it, but it's so fast that it's just another shot in the cut.
Should we do spoilers for a bit? Because there is some things.
We can, let's throw up some spoiler tag. I'll try and not accidentally end the stream this time.
Yay!
Spoilers for Ad Astra.
So yeah. The other action scene, since we're talking action scenes, which is really good, is the derelict space station.
The monkeys?
With the monkeys.
That was insane.
That was really, really well done.
I loved that. You know what it made me think of? It made me think of Dead Space.
Yeah.
When I was watching, I was like, man, I really want to go home and play Dead Space now.
You're watching it and you see the dude floating there, just like kind of shaking. You're like, what the heck is wrong with him?
Yeah.
Baboon face. You're like,
oh no.
I guarantee you nobody guessed that. Like,
no.
I bet there's a baboon on the other side of that space, man.
I didn't know about monkey. I knew there was a creature.
Yeah, there was something.
Like they say, this is an animal research
facility.
Transport.
So you're like,
thing.
What is eating him?
Like, it's a big monkey. Like.
And it's not. And it's cool that again, one of the really neat things about this movie is that it's very grounded in reality. Like it doesn't feel.
This might be one of the most grounded sci-fi movies I've ever seen.
Agreed. I was half expecting some sort of like weird mutant. Thing. No, this is just a baboon, and it is scary. Because baboons in real life are scary.
Yeah, that was one thing we said too. Is like we were glad there was no aliens.
Mm-hmm.
That was nice because the whole movie they're trying to find intelligent life.
That's that weird. It's that subplot that like it's not his main mission,
Right.
but it's there lingering the entire time.
Yeah, and it keeps being brought up.
And it keeps being brought up, and you see like the damaged station. You're like, oh gosh,
no.
were they attacked?
And then
by
you go
something?
into the station, and there's that little thing, and it looks like a coffin. I was like, ooh, either his dad or an alien is in there.
Yep.
Here we go. This
Yep.
is it. This is the big reveal.
And they do some nice subversion by not going that route. In fact,
I was very happy.
The whole point of, or not the point, but the whole reason Tommy Lee Jones is the way he is acting the way he is now is because he's obsessed with the fact that he can't find him.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't know how to comprehend with that. And that's, a mirror of, I think personally it's a mirror of Brad Pitt's character not ever being able to find his dad. Like, that's a cool thread there that, like, his dad is absent. He never had a father. And so he chose to rely solely on himself. And when he sees what's happened with his father, now he can come back and say, okay, no, I can't, I have to be with the people who matter.
Mm-hmm. So kind of going back to where you guys were talking about his emotions changing throughout the film.
Yeah.
I feel like the big shift in the movie is when he sneaks onto the Mars rocket and everybody ends up dying. Because he just found out that his dad murdered everybody on that station.
Mm-hmm.
And through that moment, then he's starting to realize, I'm exactly like my father was.
Right.
He abandoned me. He never loved me and all this stuff. And he ended up killing all these people for his work. And then here I am. I'm all alone. I left my wife, girlfriend or whatever. I can't remember if they were married.
They were.
To do this job. And now for the mission, all these people end up dying.
Mm-hmm.
And then he ends up meeting his dad. And his dad's like, F you! Like,
Yeah.
So I think that's the big shift in the emotion, heartbeat kind of psychological part of it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm just my dad, and that's not good. And I think he really starts to struggle with that.
Well, that's when he starts having all the issues too, and the
Mm-hmm.
travel.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're right in saying that. Like he starts to struggle, obviously, with being isolated because he's having to deal with all those emotions where there's no one to help him get through it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think you nailed it.
No, I think on paper it works. I think just through either editing or performance or the writing, I just didn't feel that that transformation as much. If after and again, part of it, the challenge of this is because of who his character is as this very even keel, almost emotionless person. Like after he kills the crew, if he had a, if that broke him in some way, seeing his father, if that broke him even more, then I think it would have been a little more believable to me to see that change. If by the final soliloquy of the movie where he's
Reuniting with Liv Tyler, or
talking
living.
about reuniting with Liv Tyler, right? Like
She showed up at the restaurant.
if I can feel that that tremor in his voice, like he's getting emotional about it. The interesting thing is I'm not completely convinced it's not about the movie's not trying to say emotion or not having that emotion is bad, because I don't think it's communicated clearly. I just think it's saying connection is good.
Yes.
And so
because he's like,
but I think
the emotion part is for his job, but then like the connection, like not being connected to anybody is probably a bigger part of it, because it doesn't give you those emotions when you don't have the connection.
So if his goal or his turn then is that he's going to be connected to people, I want to see the emotional impact of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's maybe just me being picky. I don't know.
And me not.
That's fine.
But I don't really know how much there's so much we could talk about this movie, I feel like. Like I feel like
I just
could
want to
talk
reiterate
hours.
how pretty it is when we finally get to Neptune. Oh my gosh,
It was nice seeing Neptune.
Yeah.
Neptune
You've
is
never
like
seen Neptune.
the black sheep of the
Of the solar
of the
system.
solar system. You never see it.
Yeah, but like just like
Probably because it's a gas planet. You can't land on it.
yeah. We should go to
And
Pluto
it's
next.
it's not as pretty to fly by as Jupiter and
Yeah.
Saturn.
Oh, dude. Oh. When they were flying by those planets, just every time a plane would pop up, it's just like, I just loved it. I just loved looking at Saturn. It's so pretty.
Yeah. No,
But-
the movie's pretty in general.
Mm-hmm.
One part, I feel like this is a pretty big emotional part
Yeah.
that didn't work for me,
Mm-hmm.
was when they were he finds his dad, and they're heading back to the ship. Dad's just like, peace, and he tries to fly off, and I was just like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
I was like, are you wanting to like die in your son's arms together because you actually do love him, even though you just told him like to F off? I've never loved you or your mother. I just didn't
Right.
care. I was so glad when I left to go find aliens, but now like let's die together. Like, what are you doing? That was the only.
Then he was like, "No, let me die alone."
yeah,
And it's like,
why are you flying off?
why are
with him?
you giving him that? He just told you he never loved you, and you're letting him.
You're giving him what he
You're
wants.
giving him what he wants. Again, maybe actually the loving thing to do, and that's part of his character turn.
Man, Brad
but-
Pitt should have knocked him out.
No, I would agree that it didn't. I didn't feel that emotion there. I saw I keep saying again. I saw that on his face. That's one of the few moments where I saw that anguish on Brad Pitt's face.
Mm-hmm.
But I still didn't feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't understand the anguish. Like, you're right. He told you he doesn't care about you.
Mm-hmm.
2, you haven't seen him since you're maybe 4.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like, he clearly, like, they make it clear early on that he just is like, yeah, my dad's dead. Like, he doesn't believe it for a second that he's alive until halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
So, like, why all of a sudden would he completely turn to caring about his dad?
Who he also knows is like a murderer.
Yeah. It's just, no.
I think the big thing it comes down to is why. Like, why did you never come home? Why did you leave? Why are you still here? Why'd you kill the people? What the heck's going on? Why are you such a douchebag? Just kind of like that. Like, he was looking for answers.
Mm-hmm. That he was never going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah. One other quick con is the amount of screen time that Tommy Lee Jones,
The supporting
Liv
cast.
Tyler, and Donald Sutherland have. Because they are amazing actors and actresses.
Natasha Lyonne.
And Natasha Lyonne. That is a great supporting cast and
So underused.
very underused.
Okay.
Again, part of it is
This is a
based
Brad
on
Pitt
the
only
story
movie.
thing is that he's in isolation. But when you don't see someone not in isolation, when you don't have somebody to contrast
Compare it
it
to.
with,
No, absolutely.
then it's not as believable that you're suffering through it.
Right.
I want to talk about Liv Tyler for a bit.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
First of all, don't care about Liv Tyler. I don't think she's especially great. I think she has the easiest career. She was like third highest billing in the Lord of the Rings. And she is probably in a total of maybe like 45 minutes of the 12 hours, I feel like. Man.
She had some stuff to do at the end of the first one. That's about it.
That's living right there.
That's like
Anyway,
being
she's just
a
kinda
backup NFL quarterback.
If
for
you've
your
seen
whole
the
career.
trailer with her in it, you've
You've
seen
seen
her
her.
performance
Yeah.
in it.
She does more in the trailer than she does in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
I think
there's
she actually has like dialogue in
There's
the trailer.
totally scenes in the trailer that aren't in the movie
Yeah.
that would.
With her in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
super
weird.
underused.
So weird.
Yep.
Oh, well.
Any other thoughts?
Well, let's see. Let's look at my notes.
I liked it. I really did.
Reiterating. Well, okay. So here's a question. Joel Allen, who's a listener of ours, was tweeting with me about my review of this movie because he was super bummed
Mm-hmm.
because I was pretty harsh. I mean, pretty harsh. I gave it a all right. What would you say? How would you recommend this? So, like, he's a big fan of just sci-fi in general. See it?
I'd give it a chance, but you need to see it on the best possible screen.
I was going to
That's
say...
the caveat, because the
Don't
movies...
go to Hillsboro, or don't go to Newton and watch it
No.
at Chisholm Trail.
Yeah.
It's an IMAX movie for sure.
It's one of the most gorgeous movies I've seen this year.
And just set your expectations that, like, story-wise,
it may not get there for you.
it's probably not the richest.
Also, unless you're me.
That's the best story you've seen this year?
No.
Okay.
Visuals.
Oh!
Like, the prettiest movie.
Sorry,
One of the
I was talking
prettiest
about
movies.
the story.
No, I was talking about visuals.
Okay.
But I liked the emotional story more than you also. So that's why I
Right,
said
you
no.
did.
But that being said, if you saw the trailers and you see the TV spots and you're going, wow, that looks really good, they kind of trick you in those because it makes it look like a blockbuster.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Yeah.
They make the movie look super huge when most of it is Brad Pitt.
In a
Also, we're in
spacesuit.
spoilers right now, so
Yep.
so I might have to time code that section out of spoilers because we're talking about people who haven't seen it.
Yeah.
In the
Right.
spoiler section.
And the
We can be done with spoilers.
yeah. Good call.
Just time code that.
And then Darth Vader showed up, and I was like, "What?" Is Darth Vader an alien?
So
Or are they considered humans?
I think it's interesting.
There's a question.
This was another one of those movies that on
Split.
Rotten Tomatoes is completely split.
So is Rambo.
I think it goes a lot
The other
with
way, right?
I think it goes a lot with what you're saying though. The trailers kind of project this movie as a blockbuster, as a space action adventure kind of movie.
Space epic.
And it's not really that. It's a small
It's a small epic.
Yeah, it's not I don't know what to call it. It's a small big thing.
It's got
No.
the visuals of an epic, but the story of an indie.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's it. There
Which-
you go.
Which is why I love sci-fi.
Cuz you can do that.
Yeah, it's 80%, 83% fresh,
Mm-hmm.
but audience score is 45.
Yeah. Which means it's this year's Last Jedi.
Which means the more I read into or I
like this way.
try and analyze these kinds of things, I think it means that marketing has just done this movie a disservice.
Yeah.
It's sold something to the audience that it's not. And so the audience goes in expecting something and the movie isn't that.
Yeah.
That's not to say someone who had no expectations might walk in and still rate this a 45. I don't know. But no, like I think it's interesting that I am falling on typically I fall on with the critic side of things and not the audience. And this time I've fallen more onto the audience side of things.
That's because I liked it, and me and you just
Yeah, we
can't agree.
get on the same wavelength ever.
Yep.
Hey, maybe I'll go and I'll really love Rambo Last Blood.
Oh, if you do, we need to have a discussion. You can love the last 15 minutes.
I'm sure I would. Okay.
Buy a ticket to Rambo Last Blood and just show up an hour late. Matinee, obviously. Save money.
Yeah, that's
So
actually
see that one on the smallest screen possible.
Go
It's
to
the
the
opposite.
one. Go to the one where they're not gonna have a bunch of screaming 5-year-olds.
Yes. Oh
Yes.
my god.
And then you can watch, or you do, and you can watch Luke turn around every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I eyed the dad so rough. Like,
Well, let's finish off by we have one fan box question.
Let's do it.
Unless you guys got a text or something.
No.
No text questions.
my mom said, "Okay, you are back on."
Okay, good.
Oh my gosh.
Also, when she said we lost the audio, she sent the dancing gif of your kid.
Oh, what? So she happy?
She's celebrating that she can't hear
We
us.
lost the audio.
I will admittedly say I would not be upset if anybody felt that way about me tonight. I am obviously very distracted, and I may have repeated things. It's okay.
I'm just impressed you're still watching the game.
Dude,
I'm gonna be honest.
this is what I mean. You've probably not watched a lot of Redskins games, but like I'm a diehard dude. I watch to the last second. I will watch this game.
At this point, I would have been frustrated enough that I just been like, we're just doing the podcast.
Yeah, no, I don't know. You know,
it's fine.
I get too distracted by the podcast.
Well, today,
whatever it takes to disagree with Brett, man.
This week we have one question from @pronounced_Ian. He says, "So it's the first day of autumn, and with the weather changing, what movie gets your cold shoulder so far this year?" So what movie you like cold shouldering away from this year?
Like, that's still coming?
that we won't see.
Ooh, it's not specified. We could do
Or we cold shouldering that we did see.
that we have seen. Maybe one of
Velvet
both.
Buzzsaw.
That's too easy.
That is still
Hobbs and
coming
Shaw.
out. Shoot, what's coming out? There's probably some horror movie coming out around Halloween that I'm just like, don't care. See, IMDb.
Maleficent, Mistress of Evil.
Yeah,
Absolutely
Yeah.
getting my cold shoulder.
there's a cold shoulder. That's happening.
Hustlers.
Hustlers is another one that
Yeah.
I'm definitely not seeing.
Thing has got crazy good reviews, but it couldn't care less about that movie. I'm so disinterested in it. What else comes out this year? Joker, no, I was kidding.
Oh, you know what movie?
That's next week.
You know what movie
Yeah.
I haven't seen, but I'm still gonna give the cold shoulder to?
Rambo.
Hellboy.
That sucked.
Keenum just threw another interception. I don't want Haskins to play this year, but I'm pretty sure they're going to put him in.
Cats?
Katz is definitely.
Katz get-
Actually, I'm going to see
That's
that
true.
just for this. Just for this. The Redskins don't play on Monday night anymore this year, so I'll be 100% ready
Just
by
to
then.
talk about it.
I'll be 100% ready by then.
Ooh, Spies in Disguise.
Oh, that movie looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm super in for that
Will
one.
Smith turns into a pigeon. Yes. I don't know about this one. I think it could be another. Shoot, what's the director's name? Independence Day guy. Emmerich. Roland Emmerich.
Roland Emmerich.
Yeah, that's it. It could be another classic
Yeah.
to make fun of by him. Midway comes out.
Midway.
I don't understand how he gets the budgets and those casts for just probably only making The Patriot. Like, that's his best movie.
So my guess is he makes them affordably, and he
gets
makes
enough boxes?
He makes profits off of them.
It's like Michael Bay. Everybody loves Michael Bay because he's always under budget and he
Yep.
always brings in box office.
Yep. Well, maybe not on his last Transformers.
Ooh,
Which one?
I don't know. The night one.
the last night.
That one, I think, still made like $600 million
That's ridiculous.
worldwide. It's just mainly in the U.S.
It didn't do
It
well.
didn't do well here, but it did well overseas. Well enough overseas.
Yeah.
Darn it. Just go
Okay.
watch Bumblebee.
So a few movies that we either were not excited about or are not excited about. Thank you for that question, Ian. Until next week, you can find us over
The
on.
Grudge. That's the horror movie that's coming out that I don't care
Oh,
about.
is that supposed to be a remake?
Yeah.
I saw a screen grab from it, and I was like, this looks totally different.
I saw it and I was like, this looks like a horror movie. My favorite reveal. No, that's not true. My favorite's Booyah.
I'm pretty sure you say my favorite review after you do that every single time.
Probably.
So
Anyway,
are we?
What are we doing?
Are we ready to continue?
What?
Continue on out of here?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure Luke doesn't want to interrupt me anymore.
Well, kind of like how Tyler always interrupts me at the beginning, I like to interrupt you at the end.
Touche. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at WhatTheFanboy. Follow us. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts. Those rate us. Those really help. Those ratings really help. Ratings and reviews. You can subscribe on YouTube and get all of the shows if you want to watch what it looks like behind the curtain. That's not right.
We don't actually have a curtain.
We don't. We could get an in-carton installed. Guys, new project. we're gonna install a curtain that can open at the beginning of the show.
Dude, yes.
Can we close it right before we start, like the Warren does?
Yeah.
And then open it again?
So it'll be open for like our what we do this week, but before
Which is like
the
our
show
trailers.
actually starts, we'll close it and then
close it
reopen it. We'll get some music, guys. This is great.
Voice of theater.
This is your voice of the theater.
Anyways, until next week.
Stay off your dang phone.
Sorry
ya.
for me being distracted.
Bye bye.